So the centre has appointed Dineshwar Sharma as the interlocutor. The announcement was made with great fanfare in a press conference in New Delhi by Home Minister Rajnath Singh. And this is not the first time an interlocutor has been appointed by the government of India. When Atal Bihari Vajpayee was the Prime Minister, the former RAW chief, Mr. Doval, was reassigned to the Prime Minister office post-retirement. For 3 years, he engaged with the Kashmir and constituents there. Similarly, many other governments had made interlocutors when it comes to the border issues. But this time around, the centre, run by Bharatiya Janata Party, appointed former IB Director Dineshwar Sharma as an interlocutor with the rank of Cabinet Secretary and a complete free hand to engage with anyone he likes. Now, on this issue, we are joined by former Union Minister and former Chief Minister and the President of the National Conference, Dr. Farooq Abdullah, who is responding to us as to what they expect from the interlocutor. Mr. Abdullah, welcome to WION for making time for us. And I would like to begin my interview by asking you that this appointment has been made. So what is your first response to the appointment, sir?
Well, look, as far as I am concerned, as the president of the party, I will say it's good that an interlocutor has been appointed. But my question is also to the government of India, what about the reports of earlier interlocutors, that is, with the government of India? Shri late Padgaonkar ji, the 3 committees that were made, and the Judge Sahab who also gave a report. What happened to those reports? Why don't they put them before the Parliament?
So, you were saying that why weren't they put before the Parliament? But then these were the same reports which were not implemented. They were appointed. The 3 members were appointed when Manmohan Singh was the Prime Minister, and you were part of the government. So why didn't you press upon the then incumbent government to release the reports? Why weren't they implemented then? You were part of the UPA.
Well, we did say. We always asked, why are they not implemented? Now that government has gone, but there is a present government. Governments may go, but things are there. It doesn't matter whether that government didn't see it. But here is a government which says that it's working for the people. I think I'll be delighted if they open those books and put them before the Parliament.
But don't you feel that, the successive governments, despite going in for successive talks and despite coming out with various reports, Mr. Abdullah, they failed to implement them? And the failure to implement the reports, and not even implement, but not also making them public, has added fuel to the fire, sir?
Absolutely. You're quite right. They spent 2 years in the state, visiting Ladakh, visiting Jammu, visiting Kashmir, met every single person, even Hurriyat, and they compiled that report.
But then
it is there in the Home Ministry. For God's sake, bring it out.
But then, the question I was asking, why didn't the government sat on the report? Why did they sit on the report?
I think you should ask Shri Manmohan Singh ji, who was the Prime Minister then, as to why it wasn't done.
But then even the present government has done nothing on the previous report.
I don't know. Please put this question to the Mr. Home Minister, Rajnath Singh ji. I'm sure he'll be able to answer.
Okay, I'll take you to a different subject. A lot of people have said a lot of things about the appointment of Dineshwar Sharma, but Hurriyat has completely taken a different turn. They want Pakistan to be in. So my question to you, sir, is it really mandatory to speak with Pakistan? Hurriyat is trying to make an issue out of it. So do you think that India, even if the interlocutor's appointment, Pakistan has to be somewhere at the sideline?
You see, I don't think the interlocutor can discuss the matter with Pakistan. That is not possible. The discussion with Pakistan has to be held at the level of the government of India whatever level they choose to do so. Whether it is Home Minister, whether it's Prime Minister, it's for them to decide. But we have a part of Jammu and Kashmir with them, which they call Azad Kashmir, and the northern territories, the Gilgit, Skardu, Hunza, Nagar, all that is part of Maharaja Saab's old Kashmir. So how can that side be ignored?
But then, Mr. Abdullah, you are talking about how can that side be ignored, but does the appointment show that the muscular approach doesn't work with people? Is that a reflection of the fact that the interlocutor has been appointed? Is that a reflection of it, sir?
Absolutely. Doval's doctrine has completely failed. His doctrine was beat them to ground, do everything that you can to suppress them. That entire theory has failed. Demonetization, they thought, militancy will disappear. It is at the highest level even today. So what have they achieved? Nothing. Our tourism died, came down to zero. Nobody bothered.
So you are saying that the Doval doctrine has failed, and you are saying that the tourism died. So I ask you this question. If you think that the Doval doctrine has failed, whatever the doctrine is, what would you like the present interlocutor to do now?
I don't know who is he going to engage with. Because Home Minister Saab twice has engaged with every national party, with all the associations here, except the Hurriyat. Mm-hmm. Now, Home Minister didn't talk to Hurriyat. At least would have made a positive move forward. I don't know what a civil servant, retired civil servant, will be able to achieve.
But then the question which arises is that wouldn't it, if you really look at it from the positive side, Mr. Abdullah, provide a buffer to mainstream parties like yours? Workers of parties like PDP or National Conference have been attacked by the terrorists, and the leaders and workers have been being attacked, their homes have been burned. Wouldn't that provide a buffer? Ultimately, there will be some start, a positive start.
We have had this happen right from the 89. Our workers have been targeted. Our leaders have been targeted. My ministers were targeted. Nobody cared about it. When my assembly was attacked and 40 people died, did anybody think about it? We will face the brunt, but we are not going to disappear. We are here. Mm-hmm. And we will remain here.
So you have been saying that, you have faced the brunt and you will remain here. But then what is the root cause of the present unrest where civil institutions are failing to function normally? Because ultimately then everyone somewhere is responsible. There has to be a root cause to it.
One is the government of BJP and PDP. It has been the greatest misery that it has been inflicted on the people of this state. That really put petrol onto the fire. And our neighbor utilized it as best as he could.
So you are saying, Mr. Abdullah, that PDP BJP is an unnatural alliance? That's what you mean?
I am not the only one who is saying it. Ask anybody on the street here and they will tell you.
But then, BJP would say, Mr. Abdullah, that this is not the first time unrest has taken place. The worst unrest have taken place in the valley. Even the pundits have been dislocated. And they say that, it's not the first time the cycle of violence has started. Cycle of violence has been cyclic in nature. In fact, that's the argument.
They have nothing better to say. They tried everything. They failed in everything. So where does the blame lie?
I'll take you to another subject. I'll take you to another subject, Mr. Abdullah. The present army chief, Mr. Rawat, has spoken about the success of army's approach in the valley. He has addressed the issue. He had his own views when it came to the issue. How do you respond to the statements he has made in past?
Well, I think Army Chief should maintain himself as far as the army matters are concerned. They should look after the borders of India rather than talk all sorts of things. It doesn't really augur well for him.
Well, that can be your view, but the fact is that Army Chief's view does have a sort of a policy support. But taking it to a different tangent, do you feel that the politics of nationalism versus anti-nationalism, which is there as a discourse in India, has somehow affected the political discourse of the civil society in Valley? Do you feel that?
Who are anti-national? If people ask for their rights, are they anti-national? If they want to speak truth, is that anti-national? We put before Vajpayee ji autonomy resolution. Is that anti-national? It is in the Constitution of India that we enjoyed those rights. Was that anti-national? I don't understand what they mean by anti-national.
Well,
every state and every man in country has his pride. And if they want to smash the pride of the people, they're not going to succeed.
Well, that's a point you have made, sir. Yes, the pride is important when it comes to society and individuals, but there's another side to the argument. Many would say that the Kashmir too, at one hand, has not been accommodative when it comes to the return of the Kashmiri Pandits. They have not been able to return Mr. Abdullah. That's the truth.
Well, who's responsible for Pandits not going back? It is for them to make a move. Everybody here, mainstream parties, even Hurriyat, welcomed them and said, come, there are Pandits living in the valley, quite happily living. Come and I'll take you to them and see how happily they're living here. They didn't migrate. It is for the others who are in the rest of the country that they should make a move and come home. We don't stop them from coming home. It is as much as their home as my home. But they must make a move.
Mr. Abdullah, is 35A an issue in Kashmir? The government says it's a legal issue. Do you think it's a really issue which has really pinched the nerve in Kashmir?
If it was not a big issue, then even PDP, that is in the government with BJP, would not be shouting against what they are trying to do. It's a major issue.
But Mr. Abdullah, have you spoken about these issues or any other issue with the Prime Minister Narendra Modi? Because you have spoken, so you speak and think very passionately about certain issues which concerns the valley today?
I think many people have had. In my own way, I have spoken to him. When opportunity will come again, I'll speak to him. I have no difficulty in speaking to the Prime Minister.
You're saying that you don't have any difficulty in speaking with the Prime Minister, but then where does the solution lie, Dr. Abdullah? Is there a Dr. Abdullah solution? Is there a solution to the Kashmir problem?
And I'll ask you, very frankly, I'll ask you, and I'll tell you. Heal the wounds of the people, not by force, not by all these useless arrests that you make, and talk to our neighbor, because neighbor is important. Otherwise, this will continue to happen. How much I might talk to Delhi, how much I might talk for peace to Delhi, will not make a slightest difference unless they are also on board. So, we have to find a way out. I remember Vajpayee ji's words, and I repeat them. Friends can be changed. Neighbors cannot be changed. We either live in harmony with the neighbor and both progress, or live in animosity and both suffer. I think those are golden words. And I'm sure Prime Minister has that courage to do so. And I'm confident that if he takes that step, it will make a difference, not only to India, but it will make a difference to the subcontinent and to the world peace.
It seems, Mr. Abdullah, you miss the political presence of Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Does Kashmir feel the same in terms of absence, or political absence of Atal Bihari Vajpayee?
We all miss him, not only I, India misses him. He is a great leader. He is still alive. He is a great leader.
So where is the hope for peace, Dr. Abdullah?
I just hope that the government of India takes that step to bring that peace to this valley. They say in hope lies life. If one loses hope, he loses life. We will continue to hope for peace and prosperity of the people of not only Kashmir, but people of the country itself.
But before I let go of you, I have two questions to ask you. Of late there has been a lot of action on part of the NIA and the various central intelligence agencies in exposing Pakistan that it's funding separatism and terror network. Hurriyat has been under its radar. Do you think that it's working?
You see, nobody will mind if those arrests prove that the money came from Pakistan, they used that money for their whatever things they used it for, people will welcome it. But the longer you hold them in the prison and just continue to extend the dates further and further, people start getting this impression that there is nothing in it. It is just being, they are just being pushed to say things which they are not ready to say.
Last question to you before I really let go of you. I know I have taken a lot of time of yours. Are you saying that these investigations must be concluded so that the message goes to public that it is for real? Because ultimately, you have at one end you have the justice in terms of the legal trail, and on the other hand, what is important is public perception of the process.
Yes, it must, and the quicker the better. Please tell them to fast pace it, so that the thing comes out before not only the people of the state, but people of India itself.
Thank you, Dr. Farooq Abdullah, for speaking with us, the former Chief Minister of...
Thank you very much. God bless.
Thank you. So, Dr. Farooq Abdullah taking time to speak with us on the issue, and he clearly says that scathing attack on the BJP government, he targets A.K. Doval and says the Doval doctrine has failed. He had his own take on the Army Chief Bipin Rawat, he had his own take on many other issues, seasoned and a veteran politician.